Hi, it's Alaska Granny. If you're prepping like I am and you're stockpiling food, perhaps you have a few buckets of rice. Rice is a basic food that's great. It's easy to prepare. It's long lasting. It's a food that you can combine it with so many different other foods and turn it into an interesting meal. So a lot of us tend to bring home big bags of rice, put it in Mylar bags, put it in a bucket, and then we know that we have that food that can last for up to 30 years. And that's a great way to have a lot of food on hand. Something else to think about when you look at the already prepared emergency meal kits. They nearly always include some chicken flavored rice. If you look at those emergency meal kits, they're great to have on hand, but they can be very expensive and they just have simple, starchy ingredients like rice and macaroni and pasta, things like that. Something I've done is buy the Knorr packaged mixes. They come in a lot of different varieties. They're inexpensive, but here's a simple recipe for how to put together your own chicken flavored rice meals. It doesn't have to be an emergency to want to serve a chicken flavored rice. You can still use, rotate, and replace the emergency meals that you have. They don't have to be just for emergencies. They can also be for everyday meals. Let me show you how to put together a chicken flavored rice. You can have it in your pantry, use it whenever you like. To make chicken flavored rice, you need white rice, chicken bouillon, Italian seasoning, parsley, garlic powder, and pepper. I'm using pint-size wide-mouth canning jars, and into each jar I'm going to start with 1 cup of rice. If you use your canning funnel, it easily fills the jar without spilling rice all over. Now for each jar of chicken and rice, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon, 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1/2 teaspoon of parsley, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And you can see I've measured all of the ingredients out. Now I could just pour it over the rice, but I like to rinse my rice before I cook it. So what I like to do is take a little container, such as these little boxes that I found at Dollar Tree, or maybe you have a little jar, maybe you have a little portion-sized snack Ziploc bag, and you can put your spices into a little container and then drop it into the jar. I like the little boxes from Dollar Tree, and into each little container I've added the 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon, 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1/2 teaspoon of parsley, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Now I can pop on the lid. And then drop a box into each jar. And add a clean lid and a ring. Put a label on them, and they're ready to go right into your pantry so that you have a grab-and-go easy meal. You can serve it with a regular meal on a regular evening. You can add it to some of your other canned foods, or in a real emergency or a low cash situation, you could just make this chicken and rice like they do in those emergency kits. I bet you'd rather serve it with something else. That's why you want to have a wide variety of food in your pantry. Now when you're ready to prepare your chicken rice, bring 2 cups of water to a boil. Then I will remove the seasoning mix. I try to always rinse my rice before I cook it. My water's just about to a boil. I'm going to add my rinsed rice. I'm going to add the seasoning mix. Stir it, put on the lid, and let it simmer for 20 minutes. Our time is up. Our rice is done. Let's fluff it up. Make sure all of the seasonings and spices are distributed. And it's ready to serve. Wasn't that simple? Our chicken flavored rice is ready. Now, an emergency meal would have you eat it just like this, but you could incorporate these mixes into your everyday meal plan so that you're rotating your emergency foods. They don't have to be for emergencies. You could serve your chicken rice with some baked fish, maybe some fresh broccoli. You could also reach into your pantry when you didn't have anything fresh on hand. Maybe you have a can of chicken, a can of vegetables, and you could turn it into a bigger, better meal. But remember, if times were hard and that's all you had, wouldn't you be glad that you had some flavored rice instead of just plain rice? Put together a few jars of chicken flavored rice mix and then make sure that you are using, rotating, and replacing the stored foods that you have. You want to know how to prepare that food, that it's something that you enjoy eating, so that no matter what the day brings, you're going to have enough to eat and you'll have variety and choices in a future that's unknown. Let us know in the comments below, what are some other easy ways that you prepare foods out of your pantry? We can learn a lot from each other, which helps us all be better prepared. If you shop on Amazon, if you click on the link in my description box before you shop, it doesn't cost you anymore and it provides a little bit of extra revenue to my channel. I hope you'll like my video, share it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel. Let's try it. Ooh, fluffy.